Wow. So, I know, lots of videos. Kind of nuts. Good to see you. I feel like you might be back on track. And the crazy thing is, I'm also still vlogging. Usually it's one or the other, so that's kind of cool. But, okay, so we're going to have a condo, you and I. We're going to sit down, have this chat. And this is, lately, there's been a lot going on. It feels like I keep telling myself next weekend or next month or whatever, things are going to slow down and I'll get to address this problem or I'll get to do this differently or whatever. But it just keeps on. And I am blessed to have a life that keeps on going. Like, I am blessed beyond ridiculousness to be busy and to have church obligations constantly, or not obligations because you don't have to go, but like church events and family events and just all of that. I'm blessed beyond. But sometimes you have to stop and you have to reevaluate, and that is just the truth. And I feel like what I've been doing up until this point is like, you know how, I don't know if this ever happens to you, but it happens to me with my wife. If she's trying to go somewhere and she can't find where she's going, she'll call me and she'll say, can you look this up on Google? Can you help me? I'm like, yeah. But my thing is, stop driving. Pull over where you can see street signs and tell me where you're at. And it will go faster than if you keep on driving. Because if she's driving and she'll be like, okay, blue street, red street, and or she'll be like, all right, blue street, and I'm like, I don't know what direction you're on. I don't know what street you're on. I don't know what direction you're going in. And then it's like 15 minutes of her trying to tell me where she's at, but continuing to move. And it's like, if you would have just pulled over for 5 minutes, even though it seems like you're slowing yourself down, we actually would have gotten you the directions you need quicker. Does that make any sense? So I feel like in my whole struggle, what I have been doing is like recalculating my coordinates and recalculating on the roll. I feel like I didn't pull over to see where I was. So for like the past year or two, it's been like just constantly recalculating. That's not working, recalculating. That's not working, recalculating. And not just looking at it. And, when I started this journey, I had spent like over a decade of just looking at the problem. You spend a decade staring at a problem or anything, you're going to memorize it. You're going to know it. You're going to finally figure out how to attack it. And I feel like I was ready for that, but I have not yet stopped and taken a moment. And I don't want to take a decade to look at the new problem, because if I did, I'd gain all my weight back and I would not be fit and I wouldn't be able to work out and it would just be a mess. But at the same time, something's got to give. And so I don't know. I'm learning and I'm figuring out, and I think that I'm gonna go back to when I really guarded what I ate, to where I planned and stuck to it, like the end all be all was my plan. I didn't, and see, I planned and I stuck to it. And then there came this place where it was like, maybe I need to be more lenient. Maybe I need to not freak out. Maybe I need to work this out better, but I just can't. Because, like I said, I either don't eat, or I eat the wrong things, or Like there's this like place where it's all coming together, and I think that the way to handle that, because food is an addiction for me, or is a struggle, is to have a plan and stick to it, period, the end. And all be all, that's the plan. Because I think that right now, my sobriety is so threatened. I feel kind of like if, let's say, my problem was like hard liquor, right? I've always been able to drink beer and not really have an issue with it, but hard liquor makes me a crazy person, and I just can't stop, and I just keep going on like it going benders and everything. So I got sober, right? And then I started to drink beer again, and it's like, is that your problem area? No. But are you really and honestly going to be able to stop there and not let that progress into something? Probably not. Am I still sober? Probably in the most weakest definition, yes. But I feel like there is an out of control element, and I have to get that under, like, in check. I have to. And there's a whole lot that goes into it. And I think my biggest thing right now is being really kind of depressed. Not in life. I'm very happy in life. But there's elements where it's like, I gave up my gym membership over a year ago because I was starting to run, maybe even longer, but because I was starting to run outside, but also because it was the only gym in my area that had a kid room, and therefore I could take my kids with me. When they took down the kid room, I wound up kind of being stranded, because it was like, what am I supposed to do now? I can't take the kids with me, and therefore I really kind of can't go. So you take that and you add to it that it's hot outside. It's so freaking hot. So it's like this combination of like stagnation in life. I think I missed the gym, and I need to figure that out. And I need to address that. I think I'll probably be going back to the gym soon. Then the next thing is shoes. Like, I desperately need new running shoes. I think I've mentioned that. They're $150. That is my grocery budget. You know what I'm saying? Like, I hate how much the shoes are. And I've tried cheaper shoes, like, but there's really only one shoe that works for me, and that is the ASICS Gel Nimbus. And, like, that's the shoes I started running in. And then I spent a year with a different one, and it was still a good shoe, but it was never as supportive, and I always still had problems. And then I bought several and tried several, and it's just nothing works. So then I went back to the shoe store, and I tried on the new ASICS Gel Nimbus, and it's awesome, and it really is what works. And I'm just gonna have to bite the bullet and buy a pair of shoes for that much. It's killing me. I'm gonna cry. But I guess you gotta do what you gotta do. Also, I mean, I think those two things I really need to focus on, because it's almost like a self-fulfilling thing. Because I know the thing I am most depressed about is not being able to move or run or do the things I used to do, and not doing them in my daily life, and it's just been hard. It's just been hard. So I'm going to focus on that, and I'm also going to focus on really cleaning up my foods and not letting anything slide, and getting serious with it, like going back to the basics, to the stricter life, and just going back to it and I guess it's like maybe having a healthy, normal relationship with food is what most people should aim for, but I need a relationship with food that is healthy and sustainable, and that might not be the majority's normal, but works and allows me to support my sobriety also. So there you go. That's my goal there. I guess in a written post, let me see this. Blog post. Outline. Food. I'm gonna do some written research and then sit down and put a blog together, which is basically like a framework of the changes I'm making and the foods that I am gonna take out of my diet to go back to the earlier diets that worked for me, and go from there. The challenge is definitely going to be to eat normal, and when I say normal there, I mean like normal calories. It's definitely going to be to incorporate getting enough, but not having any trigger foods in there. And at this point, sugar is like a definite trigger. Bam. If I eat like a piece of candy this big, it's like, it's on. I want to eat all the cookies. I want to eat all the candy. I want to eat all of it. So sugar is definitely coming out. And with that, there's certain breads that are higher in sugar, and so they trigger when other breads do not. So I'm going to have to look at that. There's just a lot. So that's going on. This is unrelated to all of that. I would love for you guys to suggest tags. Like, I wanted to do some tag videos, but I can't really find that many that are relevant to what I'd like to do. So if you know of any good tags, let me know, and I will start doing tag videos. Or tag me up. Hit me up. There's something else. I don't know what it was, but there was something. Oh, I mentioned my church blog several times because I do the Sunday notes on my church blog, which is basically I take my notes all day, like during Sunday, and like I'm writing down basically what she's saying in the readings that she says, but then I also like put in my notes, like my brain just does to furiously tick when she's talking, so I just start putting in my notes. And then I started doing the church's website because they really needed an online presence that was updated and everything. So I started doing the church's website and just on my own put together this like not on my own, I mean with God, but you know, like without any real approval. I started writing up the Sunday notes because I was doing them for my blog. So I was like, oh, I could sit here and people, if you missed Sunday, you will know what we covered, and that will be good. And I got a really positive response from my pastor. Because I stopped doing them because I was like, I don't know if they really like this or not. But I got a really positive response, and she was like, I think it's great. She was telling somebody else, like, you know, this is what she does. And then I met 2 people from other churches who had actually seen it and were like, hey, that's cool, you know. And I walked up on a conversation, and they were like, oh, this is the girl I was talking to you about. They were asking me who does the website. So it was like, okay, so obviously it is an actual contribution that's helping, or at least like reaching somebody. So I'll keep doing it, and it gives me such joy and such pleasure. I love it. I love it. I have not linked to that blog because I do go to a blended church. I go to a church where the pastors are in a same-sex relationship and where we are affirming and welcoming of everybody who wants to walk a Christian life. And I monitor all the comments, and thank you, God, we have gotten no ugly comments thus far. But I don't really want to put the church's website out there for public consumption through my own private stuff, and bring any attention to it that way. But if you are interested and you message me, I will gladly share that information with you and there you go. So that's about it today. Tomorrow is my 5K. There should be a fun vlog. Not all this mini pants stuff. I did my nails. It's a Saints run. It's a back to football. It's the Saints edition of the series. So I did my nails, and I'm gonna dye my hair, and should be fun. Alright, I will talk to you guys later. Goodbye. I feel like there was something else. But I guess that's it. And if there's something else, I'll hit you up.